Welcome to episode 82 of Comic Book Nation, the official podcast of Comicbook.com. I am your host, Kofi Outlaw, and with me again on this fine episode is my co-host, Matthew Aguilar.
What up?
And my other co-host, Janelle Wheeler.
Hey, everybody.
And creeping out in the cut over there, we got the original Trinity member, looking fresh, shaved, and baby-faced himself. Mr. Brandon Davis is back with us. He's been on the road for a minute, but good to have you back, buddy.
Hello, everybody.
So, we are back, and we are here today because, I could pretend like we have a whole lot to talk about, and we kind of do, but there is one thing going on, the major thing happening today, which is we have begun the streaming wars with the launch of Disney Plus. So, Disney Plus is now live. Disney Plus is up. After all our talks, after all this time, the new Disney streaming service is online, and we are here dipping our toes in.
Kind of, sort of.
We're starting to get a few toes, a couple toes deep into this. And we're going to talk about some things that are going on with the Disney Plus launch today. There are some reveals from Marvel we're going to break down. BD kind of went Midnight Warrior on us and was digging through all things Marvel on Disney Plus, so he's going to help us walk through all that. And, of course, we all have dipped in and watched Star Wars The Mandalorian, the first live-action Star Wars series. And, of course, as they promised, quite a few surprises in this Star Wars show, and quite an ending to this first episode. So we are going to talk full spoilers about that. Plus, Matt is going to break down the new comics of the week, as always. Word. And we have a new Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, and let's start there. Let's start there, because we're going to go full Disney Plus in a minute, but let's start. So the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer came out how long ago? I don't even remember. Was it
4
We've done 80
months?
episodes, and I don't even remember. It was like
3 or 4 months ago, probably.
It was a long time
Yeah,
I
ago.
didn't even see the first one. This is the
Good,
first
because I was
trailer
going to
I've
say it
seen.
was a thing that many of us wanted to see burned with fire. I think only Matt was okay with it.
Me and Jim were
Yeah, Matt
fine.
and Jim were making apologies for that.
We were
but now we see just how wrong, really, really wrong you two were about that.
Actually, we were right.
No, you were wrong.
No, we were right. We
to
said
excuse that earlier Sonic trailer, we got this now upgraded Sonic trailer
it's
with
the
an
same
actual
trailer.
but with an actual
the
Sonic the Hedgehog that doesn't haunt my dreams.
And what
It
did we
looks
say
it
at
came
the
from
Yeah,
a video
Sonic
game.
looks great.
What did we say at the time? We said we don't like the design, but we like the rest of it. And it's the same. It's the same voice coming out of his mouth. It's the same type of humor. Jim Carrey looks great as Robotnik yet again. And I love the new redesign. I think it looks great. I think it looks way better. But that's what we said at the time. And so, revisionist history over here in this chair.
So between the two,
I feel like you're the guy who had a flip phone, and the first time somebody gave him an iPhone, they were like, "Look, it's the same phone. It makes calls, it sends texts. What is it? You gave it a fancy upgrade."
between the two trailers, did anything else change, or is it just Sonic?
There's one extra.
Yeah, there's a couple.
there's a couple
scenes,
Did
things
Jim
that.
change at all? Did Jim Carrey his outfit or anything
No.
like that? Okay.
Jim Carrey is still Jim Carrey.
Then why did everybody give him so much crap?
Because
I
the
thought
design was not great. The
well,
design
yeah,
himself
Sonic
was not
looked
great.
terrible. I didn't even see the trailer, but the memes all over Twitter were fantastic.
It was crazy creepy, that old Sonic with his weird legs
And the teeth, man, those
and the
teeth were really special.
And now it's now there's a movie I want to see. It's a little Sonic I want to hang out with. That's
Me
a
too.
big difference.
No, I like the new design, but all you people coming on and saying it's a completely different trailer. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's the exact same thing.
I mean, it's very different.
It's not.
It's
not.
Yeah, it's like if they made Back to the Future with that original guy instead of Michael J. Fox. Be like, it's the same movie, blah, blah, blah. But no, there's a big difference. Things change.
Imagine if they got the
design.
Imagine if they got the look of Captain Marvel totally wrong in the trailer, and the trailer was the same, and then they released a different trailer where she actually looked good. You would be saying something different.
And I would be saying what I just said, which was the design was not great, which I said at the time. But everything else about the trailer, the tone, the humor, the characters, if you didn't like the first one, I don't know how you like this one. All of that, and
It's
by
a
the
more
way,
likable.
at the
it's the
time-
entire thing about that's why leads get replaced and things all
But
the
we
time.
can revisit the conversation in his office at that time.
Really?
And
This is the
Charlie
grenade
and
guy?
you. No, I'm just saying, all these people were crapping on
Are we the dumb people
trailer,
again?
not just the design. You guys were saying it wasn't funny. The jokes were lame. Everything else about it. The only redeeming thing was Jim Carrey at the time.
You opinion, you have to just give it up that maybe we couldn't see past this creepy Sonic that was just throwing off everything else.
I mean, your opinion is your opinion. I'm just
that's
saying.
true.
I'm just saying. For
It was
me,
pretty creepy.
everything
Yeah.
else was like, oh, is this? I like this. Fix the design, and then we're good. And they did. Okay.
because of our outrage.
Yeah, bravo to
Not
everybody,
your acceptance.
all the
They fixed it
consumers.
because of
Yeah,
our
those-
outrage.
Yeah,
Those
that's
Christmas
fair.
trees,
Yeah.
those Christmas
That's
trees
fair.
under the staff, the visual effects staff on this movie are going to be fully stocked for those kids this year.
Yeah.
They
So,
have been
That's fair.
working.
yeah.
That's
So-
absolutely fair.
Yeah. All right. So moving right along from this strange grenade explosion over Sonic the Hedgehog, we are going to go into the launch of Disney Plus. But first, let's make another stop because there is something we've been checking in every week with Watchmen, and now you, Janelle, like this is a big deal for
Yes!
you. You've like broken
Oh,
through to the other
man.
side because you've been brave enough to jump into this HBO Watchmen series with us without actually having
Without
seen
having any knowledge.
any
not
knowledge of
reading
the Watchmen
comics,
thing
didn't see
before,
the
which
movie.
was it was interesting to get your opinion when
Yeah.
you're just somebody watching, trying to understand why squids are falling from the sky and whatnot. And why we're having these strange, not safe for work callbacks
Yeah,
to
that's
Dr.
what I was-
Manhattan and like what's going
No,
on
that's
with
what
all this.
happened. That
So,
was the third
yeah.
episode. The
So we
third
got
episode.
you to sit down and watch the actual like Zack Snyder's Watchmen movie,
Mm-hmm.
which I know some purists will be like, that's not it, but like that's what we're gonna work with here.
Yeah.
because we are working with an adaptation, a screen adaptation. So we're just gonna give you the movie to watch. So tell us real quick, what did you think of Watchmen, and now what do you think about the show now that you've
Yes.
actually seen this movie?
First and foremost, if you have not watched the movie, you're fine 2 episodes in, right? Episode 1, episode 2, you're good. Like the only thing that's kind of confusing is the squid situation, but that's not a big part of the story yet. You get to episode 3 and you don't know who anyone is. You don't understand why our lead female character is famous. It is so confusing. And that's when I looked at the guys and I was like, I don't know what's going on, and they gave me a login to watch the movie, so I'm pumped. I really feel like if you enjoy the show, you should watch the movie. It changes everything. I enjoyed the movie. I really liked it. I love the artistic, I love the weird vibe. I love the soundtrack. The music's really weird and it's kind of futuristic and bright, weird colors. I really like the dark side of comic books and things like this, like less like Captain Marvel and more like weird. This is eerie. And
Sorry, Matt.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
I mean, you just really,
Yeah.
it's funny because you just described like Zack Snyder's
Yeah.
I loved it.
approach to DC.
I was about it. I was all about it. I'm a huge fan, and now it makes me love the show. So I went back and rewatched every episode after watching the movie, and I caught so many callbacks, like so many things that tie into the movie that I was like getting goosebumps. I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. So I really, you guys need to watch the movie if you haven't watched the movie. If you're watching the show, I can't believe I'm saying that, but. It's really confusing if not.
Remember, you and me were both on the you like Watchmen, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I did too. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know where you stand on Watchmen. Like the
It's
movie.
fine. I mean, I'm not a hater of it. I think
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
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 I feel like they explained everything very nicely.
So now that we're 4 episodes in, because this latest episode continues to deepen some of the mysteries and callbacks. We get several callbacks to Vietnam, which plays a big part in
Yes.
Watchmen, especially with the comedian's story and Dr. Manhattan's story. There's increasing kind of evidence behind this fan theory about what's happening to Adrian Veidt or whatever you want to say his name is, Jeremy Irons' version of him, possibly being kind of a prisoner of Dr. Manhattan.
Oh my gosh, and I felt that so much after watching the movie.
yeah.
I was like, this makes so much more sense.
Yeah,
And
I mean-
obviously, this last episode is very disturbing how I thought his little servants I thought they were robots.
Yeah, so did I.
It is extremely
Yeah,
disturbing.
I couldn't
to
actually
see where they
rewatch
come
that scene.
from.
I was like rewatching the episode, and I was like, I'm skipping it.
I skipped it too. I could
Yeah, I was
not
like, oh,
watch
wow.
it again. It was
Yeah.
so disturbing for me, especially when they transform. He ages them very
Yeah.
quickly into the age that he wants them to be, and the screams and shrieks are
Yeah, he's trying to play music
More-
while they're
it's-
because he just carries around these babies and then he puts them. It's a very Death Stranding. He's literally has a bag full of babies and he grows them to be his servants and then he
puts them in
Is
a
that what happens in
machine.
Death Stranding?
well, Well, one of the things is you are carrying around like this baby as your pod.
But that's, I mean, no, they don't like age them or anything.
Well,
it's
that's
the
just
same.
him because he's loony bird.
It's just about people carrying around babies.
He
for some
doesn't
reason. It's
care.
like a popular thing right now.
Wow, what a year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, that scene's really disturbing because you know what he's been doing to all of these
Yeah.
clone servants he keeps, like, growing, and it's pretty horrific.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, so there's all these evidence that he's trying to maybe get out of this. I mean, he straight up says it's a prison in this one.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was a paradise, it's a prison. And they're suggesting that maybe Dr. Manhattan, because Dr. Manhattan let him go at first when he kind of did this thing to kind of scare everybody out of World War III. But it would stand to reason eventually Dr. Manhattan was like, well, I'm not going to just let you
Yeah.
roam
You
around.
can
Well,
do it again.
I think what had happened was Warshak's
Yeah.
diary then became published, and then everybody finally, like the public, realized what he had actually done
Yeah.
and the amount of
after
people
that-
that he killed.
Yeah.
And now they're like, well, we have to imprison. Like, there's no way this is just a secret between us. Like, the world knows, and we have to imprison him.
Yeah.
He's
So,
terrible.
look at that. Janelle
terrible.
Wheeler,
Watchmen fan.
expert.
Yes.
Yeah. In
That was pretty
under a couple
impressive.
of weeks.
That was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Thank
just
you.
under a couple of weeks. There we go. See?
Yeah.
you
I'm
best.
actually thinking that this should be my first comic that I like really go after hard and like start reading.
Ooh,
Awesome.
wow,
That's how
yeah,
much
you're
I
jumping
love
into
it.
a whole. I mean, we haven't even having
You
like
could probably finish it before Doomsday Clock finishes.
whoa.
Probably. you were not wrong.
Yeah. Oh man, we have to get out the ultimate cut with all the whole kind of comic book within Watchmen that exists. Oof, that gets to another level.
Oh my
But all right,
gosh.
so that's our check-in with Watchmen. We're gonna keep it because we are plugging for the show. I still really enjoy this. I'm loving it. So we're gonna keep plugging it. But moving right along, let's get to the real thing we're talking about today. When we come back, we're gonna jump into all things Disney Plus. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. All right, so Disney Plus is up, and Bob Iger, I'm sorry, it hasn't gone as smoothly as
No.
we
Oh, okay.
probably hoped because
evil
Disney Plus down is trending as a trending topic right now. I just did a great post with everybody sending in their really messed up screenshots and memes, and just people are savage.
Oh, good to
Seeing
know, because I thought it was just me. I had the spinning wheel of death throughout
Oh,
the
no, that's
entire
like, yeah.
episode. Right in the middle, it was like it had like the blue and then the like little plus in there. I'm like, oh, that's a nice touch as it's loading, and then it just stayed there for the entire episode of Mandalorian, and I was
It's just
going,
something cute to fool you. That's
Right.
what Disney does.
yeah, I was like, I'm not even gonna
It's a
mess with
cute
this
thing.
because
Wait, how long have I been sitting here?
I can't even get there.
yeah,
They won't
it
send me
showed
an
the
email.
whole show. It just had
This
the
is
spinning
our
wheel of death.
sporadic review of Disney Plus's launch.
I can't even get to the spinning thing.
Oh,
My
no.
thing is that my Xbox is now talking to me in Dutch because I switched it to Netherlands at 11 p.m. last night so I could get in and see it, and I logged in and it was like
It was a foolproof plan until
it was straight up gold member. My Xbox,
Oh
but
my god.
it worked. I got on Disney Plus, and
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
but it's like
But once you're in, now you can't
Yeah,
get
now you
back
got to
out.
figure out how to be.
I'm stuck. I don't know how to get back to settings.
Well, I mean, that's a good segue because you did make this sacrifice not without reason. You were helping out the old company by getting in there and getting into this Marvel stuff. And we don't have these new Disney Plus Marvel Studios shows yet. They're coming starting next year. But we did get a little something to kind of tease us as Marvel. So they did tease us with something called Marvel Expanding the Universe, which was a kind of look at. I haven't watched it yet. BD, you've watched it, right?
I watched it like 3 times now.
And and is it just about the Disney Plus series?
It's all about the Disney Plus shows. I mean, it's like it was essentially like what it gives you the experience of going to Comic-Con without going to Comic-Con. It's footage of Kevin Feige on stage. It's concept art that you only saw at Comic-Con, and I have a feeling that this won't be the last time we see something like this. But it's all Disney Plus show centric. There's nothing new about the 3 shows that are slated for the end of that run, which are Moon Knight, Ms. Marvel, and She-Hulk. But we got our first look, and these weren't even concept art. These weren't even Comic-Con images. These were concept art that were released for the first time of like Falcon, U.S. Agent, Bucky, Sharon Carter. Nothing
And those
of
are the
Wanda or
characters in
Vision.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And Rupert Wyatt, the guy from like Overlord and Lodge 39, he'll be U.S. Agent, kind of joining it. And Falcon, yeah, he got a new costume. Sharon Carter did. Who else? Did Bucky?
Bucky's in like a American colored suit. It's like red, white, and blue with like a kind of a whiter but still silver metal arm. The Falcon costume it's not the Captain America Falcon costume. It's more of like a classic comic.
Pretty
with, like,
slick
the
costume.
gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see it with wings. I hope it's got the white wings.
Yeah.
Like it's got like a gold visor, like eye on the glasses. It's gold,
like 70s Falcon.
black
Yeah,
and
it
red
looks
and
nice.
white. Yeah, I mean, it's like a classic Falcon. I mean, I'm sure he's gonna have a red, white, and blue Falcon America costume, which will be really cool. They didn't give us anything for Loki really, except the fact that they said it's gonna have a huge time traveling component. The what if stuff though, they showed footage, and that it's interesting how far along what if is, because like the footage is like it looks done.
I mean, the animation, you got to start.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's
2
not till
years.
summer of 2021 that comes
Yeah.
out. So they showed Peggy Carter as Captain Britain. They showed zombie Captain America fighting Bucky on a train, which is
So
like
cool.
it's like a reference to them on the train in the first Avenger. Then it's Bucky catches the shield and throws it back, which is a Winter Soldier nod. And then there's a Marvel Zombies nod. There's skinny Steve Rogers in a Mark I Iron Man suit in World War
Nice.
II, World War I, whatever war that was, with Captain Britain and T'Challa as Star-Lord, which is cool. I mean, it's just going to be, and a look at Jeffrey Wright's Watcher, which
Oh, nice.
but yeah, I mean, it's just
Yeah, I think the two, oddly enough, that people sleep on are WandaVision and What If, and I feel like those two are going to be like
Yeah.
really highly entertaining.
well, like it's interesting, like because Wanda is gonna go straight from WandaVision to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Apparently, so is Loki.
He very well might.
No, I mean that is confirmed that Loki, like, I think it was like over the weekend or something that Loki will feed right into.
Oh, interesting.
Strange.
I mean, that makes sense
Yes.
because it's alternate
Yeah.
realities and
Yeah.
stuff. But I think Doctor Strange could appear in WandaVision.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's not out of the realm of possibility.
That's my favorite. He's my favorite of all
Doctor
time.
Strange?
Doctor Strange is my favorite.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's awesome.
You a Cumberbatch fan?
Yes, huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
I just love Doctor Strange because of like his story. I'm really into the like Buddhist training and like mentally being able to like unlock different dimensions
No,
and
are
time.
you trying to get to the astral plane? I mean,
Yes.
you've already
I'm
been on this
obsessed.
podcast
It only
and
makes
announced
sense.
your godhood. Like,
I'm a huge
Not thrilled
Whovian.
with
Master.
this reality.
I
so it
love
would only
time.
be like
Ready to go
it's a lower
somewhere
tier
else.
if you're trying to become a master of the mystic arts.
I-
It's underneath God. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, all right. So there you go.
Yeah.
And there's
Oh
the
my
deleted scene from Avengers Endgame, which we're all like, well, good thing it was deleted.
Oh, the Hulk
Oh, it
thing.
was it bad?
No,
No,
I don't know. I don't
kneeling.
think that's there. No.
Oh, the
Catherine-
kneeling.
Yeah.
Oh,
Your favorite bonus scene ever.
Catherine Langford from. Can we say Netflix while talking about Disney Plus? Netflix is 13 Reasons Why. Catherine Langford makes an appearance, and it's like when Tony Stark snaps his fingers wherever you go, like where Thanos saw young Gamora. Tony sees older Morgan H. Stark. Has the cheesiest cut, and I like to think it would be punched up if it was cut for the movie, and it wasn't. I think like they cut it for the sake of looking at it. They looked at it and they were like, nah. But I think that if it was in the movie, it would have been tighter and better. But it's just so cheesy, and he says "I love you 3000," and I think that was one "I love you 3000" too many, and it would have taken the like allure out of that line.
Yeah, I think it would have been powerful if he just like saw it. Like, I don't think many dads with daughters would have been like dry-eyed if he just got to see that before he like passed, and I didn't even see.
Yeah, but at the same time, like people would be like, "Who the hell is she?"
No, yeah.
You know, because it's.
I mean, we already
older-
had one of those in that movie anyway, so
Yeah, you already had
Best
Emma Furman
style,
step
yeah.
in as Cassie Lang.
or not even like dude at the end, Ty, what's his name from Iron Man 3?
Oh,
like,
Ty Simpkins.
yeah,
Oh,
it's like-
yeah, that's
we
right.
already
I
had too
forgot
many
about him.
possible like.
That's
yeah,
right.
who the hell is that kid? Things
looks like
going on.
30
Let's not
years
pile
old
those
now,
on, I
yeah.
I
guess.
forgot about
Harley
that guy.
Keener.
Yeah. I mean, the way it was cut in the end was probably for the best way from everything I've seen. So, like, yeah, I don't know.
Between that and the kneeling, they made some good choices about what not to put in the movie.
Yeah. And that's always important.
It is
important.
Absolutely.
So, Matt, Disney Plus so far. What are you thinking? Not
Uh,
enough Lady and the Tramp?
It's great. Can't get in. Can't get into the. to the service to watch anything. Was all excited to watch Mandalorian. Couldn't
I
do
feel like
that.
this is a good preview for what the whole first year of the streaming wars are going to be. We thought it was going to be like streaming services warring with each other, but it's going to be like us warring with our logins.
Yeah, it's just bandwidth wars. It's like,
Yeah.
that's all it is. Yeah, so I mean, it'll be great once I can get in and watch some stuff.
No, but I mean, I see what they've done and what they built. Like, you begin to look at the lineup of movies and TV series, and you're like, wow. And they just put it in your face. They're like, yo, welcome to Disney Plus. You want Captain Marvel, Endgame? You want some Avatar? You want
Gargoyles
some
is
Rogue One?
trending
You want
right now.
Gargoyles?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Gargoyles.
Love gargoyles.
Oh, and we got some new stuff. Lady and the
Stop
Tramp,
it.
Noel.
What it is? It is.
But I know it's trending.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
Oh, no.
So,
I
whoa.
love gargoyles.
Wait, hold up, partner,
How
hold
could
up,
you
hold up.
not?
What do you
Wait,
mean?
He's young. He's so young. He's so much younger than us.
I
there you
had
go.
gargoyles. I am so much younger than you, but
Yeah.
also I had gargoyles.
Yeah, you don't understand.
Why do you not like? Okay, why do you not?
Are
like
you really gonna go home this weekend and watch Gargoyles?
Keith David's voice made us feel safe in the 90s.
You're gonna be disappointed.
Secure.
You're gonna go watch it and you're gonna be like, "Well, it was better when I was a kid."
Gargoyles
yeah,
made
I've
us
done
know
it. I've already
America
done
was
that.
strong.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I've done that. I'm still going to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
because
I'm gonna rewatch Gargoyles.
Positives outweigh its negatives.
You're just
I'm
trying-
sure the animation
No.
sucks.
And
Plus, I
and
got
it's
kids I
rough.
could put it off
You're like
on. I'd be
puppets.
like, I'm not watching Gargoyles. You're
little
watching
Jim Henson.
Gargoyles.
You're just
Like,
trying
if-
to find a reason.
Like
to
if you
spend
watch
$12
X-Men,
at
if
this
you watch
point.
the X-Men animated series right now, it's rough in parts. Like the dialogue
know.
over
Oh,
the
yeah.
top and the animation kind
The
of
amount
sucks.
of Wolverine screams.
Yeah,
Like,
but like I still enjoy it for what it is. I mean, I still enjoy it. So
Hey, enjoy it. Good for you.
I'm gonna go watch Darkwing Duck.
Man.
Rescue Rangers.
I'm happy for
Oh,
you guys.
Rescue
Rangers.
Rangers. Yes. Oh my
Red-
god.
Stop.
Rangers.
Stop. Don't start it. Don't start. Man, the Gargoyles are made out of stone. They got more heart than you, dog. Come on.
I did do
Rather
something
watch
yesterday. I was like, I'm on
SpongeBob?
what?
SpongeBob?
Rather
SpongeBob.
watch SpongeBob.
He's young. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I
that
know.
show's not
SpongeBob is our-
generation.
You come from whenever
SpongeBob is our
after they
sister
started
property,
handing out
by the way.
ADD pills.
By
Like,
the way, SpongeBob is our sister property, so I'm just on the team here.
Oh, stop it.
Viacom,
Stop
excuse me.
it.
That's why he watches it.
Yeah.
It's gonna ruin it though when they bring Venom in.
Ooh.
So
Go to bed.
get ready for that disappointment.
I'm out.
Stop it. So yeah, I mean, so everybody's have apparently something to watch. I'm way behind on my Disney Plus watching. I've only gotten through The Mandalorian, which I guess is as good
I
as
haven't
any-
gotten through The Mandalorian, so if you are talking spoilers, I'm gonna leave.
What?
Yeah.
I haven't
Why
either,
are
but they're
you
gonna
here?
spoil it for me because I
I don't
can't-
want it spoiled.
Disney.
I haven't had a chance to watch it. I was up working till 1 a.m. doing
Can't
Marvel
watch
stuff.
Disney.
Fine, we're gonna do something that nobody planned for. Get out of here. Go get Charlie Ridgely. Get him in here.
Has he watched Mandalorian?
Oh yeah, you know.
I'll
he
go get
has.
Charlie.
Yeah, go get
All
Charlie.
right,
We're gonna
you
do
guys
a live
continue.
switch. Don't tell Brittany; she'll freak out.
Yeah, we're doing a live switch.
Doing a live switch.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Live switch.
Jim's curious. Walking by. Oh
Jim's,
no!
Jim's catching
Oh,
on.
no.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Get Charlie. Is he right there?
Not there. It's just you guys.
All right, it's just us.
I will say that I did watch the Nutcracker, the Disney Nutcracker, yesterday on Netflix. Yesterday, because I knew it was gonna go away. Whatever, just to be like, all right, one last support for Netflix, and then, yeah.
I mean, I don't
it's
hate on
over.
that. Arabian Dance is one of my favorite songs of all time.
It's really cute. It's a great little
That's what I keep.
Christmas
That's what I
movie.
used to keep the beast on the chain, Matt. The Arabian Dance from Nutcracker. It's like my program song. They played for me
God.
during my born days. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway,
Gosh.
so we don't know if Charlie Ridgely's ever coming in here,
Yeah,
so
so
we're
we'll
gonna
just
keep
go.
it
Okay,
moving.
I have plenty to say about this.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about Star Wars The Mandalorian. So this has finally arrived. The first live-action Star Wars series is here. And yeah, man, we were really psyched. I've been watching that first teaser endlessly, which I still think is one of my favorite teasers or trailers period of the year.
It's been a nice welcome respite from Joker's trailer that you played.
Yeah, I mean, the music's
Behind
just,
me.
it's kind of just as dark and ominous. It's just, you know what I like, Matt. You know what I like, buddy. Like, it is what it is. But, so the first episode is out. We are going to be talking full spoilers for The Mandalorian. So if you have not watched The Mandalorian, please do not write us angry letters and or 1-star reviews. We are telling you right now, we are going to be talking full spoilers because there is a lot to kind of dissect here. So, jumping right in, let's go around. First, I thought it was good, The Mandalorian. I think, like all things Star Wars these days, it's trying to balance a lot of elements of the franchise. Like, there's some darker, kind of harder edge Rogue One-y kind of stuff. There's some lighter kind of prequels kind of stuff, especially like there's a whole creature riding segment, which I feel like now is like baked into every Star Wars story formula.
You gotta have a creature.
It was
there's gotta be
great.
like a creature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so something you got to ride. Yeah, I know, but the whole CGI creature riding thing is like always kind of weird. But they did that. I liked a lot of the alien characters we met, especially Nick Nolte's character.
Are there Ewoks?
I don't know if there are going to be Ewoks or
Are
not.
there Ewoks in the first episode?
No.
No. Oh, hey, here he is. Here. Yeah. Hey,
Charlie.
Charlie boy.
Live.
Charlie's like, yeah, I know
Hey,
this.
get in here. So, if you guys him picking up, Mr. Charlie Ridgely's in here, a.k.a. Turn Up Charlie, who has been covering this Disney Plus stuff like crazy lately. You're going to have to talk like BD because we synced his mic to his audio, so you're going to have to talk like
Okay.
BD.
Can I get in? I don't know if I have any Jersey accent in me.
No, you just got to just talk as if you're like really tired and you should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I am really tired. I stayed up last night to watch The
Okay.
Mandalorian, so
I learn something new every
I
day.
am. Hey, Janelle, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. It's good to see you.
I am a little tired, so maybe that'll.
Oh yeah, that's
Sweet.
right.
Great.
Yeah, so we're talking to Mandalorian and we're just going around and saying kind of like what we thought about it. Yeah, I think it's trying to balance a lot of elements of the franchise, but I think it does so pretty well. I think this is a good side of Star Wars that we haven't explored before, and I think it holds together because Pedro Pascal can act his butt off even in a suit of armor with a helmet on. Just his presence and his kind of swagger is really good. He kind of nails that very noir, Western, gunslinger type thing. And that's how it begins. It begins basically with a saloon scene, like from an old Western, where he kind of catches a bounty. And yeah, it goes down really well before we kind of get this expanding mystery. I think there's a nice sprinkling of kind of references to the past, teasing of mysteries that are going to be kind of coming down the pike. And there is actual time for like character development in this first episode.
I love that.
You see the Mandalorian kind of partner with various people or thing, like Nick Nolte's alien character, who I love. Yeah, I have spoken is I feel like going to be.
I'm totally gonna start doing that.
Yeah,
In
I
every
feel like you would
conversation
do
with
that.
my boyfriend, I'm just gonna be like, I have.
I
Spoken.
feel like you're going to start with your boyfriend and it's
Oh.
going to expand. You're just going to be like ordering in a restaurant.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, ma'am, if you sure this special, you'd be like, I have spoken. Like, yeah, he was a great character. Taika Waititi's droid character was a great one.
God.
Love
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, there's a great, and it manages to actually bake. What I was surprised in is in the kind of climactic part of this episode, there's a lot of suggestions of like actual funny humor, without being like ever too cheesy to me.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian's interaction with Taika Waititi's droid, there's like a running gag with the self-destruct thing. Because the droid thinks like whenever there looks like the odds are bad and they're gonna get taken, he's like, all right, well, I'm initiating my self-destruct sequence.
He's like,
And
"Don't
just,
do
like,
it."
Yeah, he starts a thermal detonator in his chest, and then Mandalorian's like, whoa, like stop, like we're gonna get out of this. And so there's like a whole bunch of humor like that. And yeah, and it ends on one hell of a reveal that I mean, I know Star Wars fans are either gonna be really divided about, or like just buzzing and theorizing about, or both. So. Yeah, so I mean, I really enjoyed it. And
Wait, are you gonna say what the reveal is?
I mean, yeah, I don't know why. We said we're spoilers.
Yeah, you said spoilers.
I don't know. I just always feel weird about it.
Okay,
know,
then no.
I
If
feel
you don't want to,
that's
that's
what-
fine.
No,
we can always
I'll
dive
say
into
it.
it at a
So
later time.
cute.
So the job that he gets hired to do in kind of by Werner Herzog is to pick up a live cargo alive, which is, you know, not necessarily like
But
a
if
rule
he
for
has
the
to kill,
Mandalorian.
but he
Yeah.
says like, but if I know your job, if you need to kill,
Yeah, if you need to kill,
you need to kill, do it.
But he makes it very clear: bring this thing in alive, which is a very important thing to remember later on.
Yeah.
At the very
And
end of the
they said it's a 50-year-old living being that you need to pick up, and it's like that's all that we're gonna give you. So don't tell him anything.
tracker, yeah.
And so he fights through this whole army that's guarding this thing with this droid character, and they get in and they open this little pod where their kind of target is, and it's a tiny Yoda alien. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And he's so cute.
Yeah, it's like a
Speaking
baby
of
Yoda.
gremlins, wait, what?
Yeah, it's like a baby Yoda who is like 50
With the
years old,
big
which is nothing in Yoda,
eyes.
because the guys, Werner Herzog tells him, like,
Oh my gosh.
some beings don't age the same, so it's just like a baby Yoda.
Oh my god!
And
That's
the droid
amazing.
wants to kill it because it's like, oh, probably best we kill it, and it's
Well,
gonna.
so that's what I was mentioning. The droid IG-11 says
He was ordered
that,
to
like,
kill
the
it.
directive. I was told to bring this in dead, like to
Yeah.
terminate on site.
Yeah.
And so they both established when they met that they both were working for the guild,
yeah,
and then they were both given two very different directives. the Mandalorian was said bringing it alive. I mean, if not possible, like we understand, but you won't get paid as much. Like you want to bring this in alive. IG-11 was given in the exact opposite order, and so there is something bigger at play. Based on where these orders are coming from and what significance this baby holds.
And if everybody is who they say they are, like if Werner Herzog is like really working through the guild, or if there's something else going on there. So so the Mandalorian smokes the droid, which I was upset about. I wanted more Taika Waititi.
I mean, I think that we're
he's gone?
I think they were going to get more of that. Like there's the whole self-destruct sequence. I think that's going to be that character's too good to go away.
Yeah, I hope they bring him back online. So like basically, but he gets the Mandalorian shoots him in the head before he can shoot the baby, and then the Mandalorian.
Because it looks like they shoot the baby.
It looks like they shoot
for
the
a second.
baby.
I was like,
no way. Me too.
That would have been a really hard show
Dark.
if they had like done that.
I mean, this show's already kind of dark. But
It's great. The first scene where he's like collecting his first bounty, I told you I was so excited to see like kind of how they handle so much killing because he's
we were talking about that door scene.
So I love the door scene where he like pulls a body through the door.
And it was done in the most Star Wars way because when you watch, we've seen it in the trailers, and I was like, that's going to be gruesome, and that's not going to fit the whole theme of Disney Plus, like the whole we want to be more for families and stuff. And I was really interested to see how they would balance that.
Yeah.
And I think you're absolutely right. It's very like on that line. The way that they cut it, like it doesn't
it, like,
lose the
thumps.
effect. You still see the legs.
Yeah.
See it from the door's
It
perspective.
doesn't lose it.
Essentially,
Really
so
cool.
But you still like
You
it's
feel
not
it.
graphic.
floor, and then it's like
It's
from
great.
the doorway's
It's
perspective,
so
looking
great.
back at him, and everybody in the bar's just like, what?
yeah.
You know,
and he was trying to get this other guy. Like he kills all of these.
he kills all these dudes who
Yeah.
are trying to harass the guy he's actually there for.
This sounds awesome.
And so he goes up and the guy's
It's-
like,
it's
"Oh,
very-
thank you for taking care of
I
me."
like
And
the
he
music,
never
too.
says anything. He just is staring at him. And he's like, "Okay, you could have my credits." And then he just puts down a hollow thing that shows that he's the bounty. And he's like, "Ah." Yeah, that alien guy, I don't know who plays him. I have to look it up,
It's
but
very funny.
yeah, it was
was
very
good.
funny.
It was
He's like
when
a
I
fish guy.
was just writing my review before I came in here, and I think this might be the most Star Wars show or Star Wars thing and the least Star Wars thing at the same time. It's such a departure from everything we know as Star Wars. It's basically a Clint Eastwood movie, which is awesome. But it's also like you talked about with like that humor is so exactly what Lucas was going for in the original movies. Like it's so funny, but in a way that isn't like over the top, and it's just kind of subtly. It's the I love you, I know lines. Like it's those kind of it's Han's charm. Like that's the kind of like funny that we're getting in this show, and it's one of my favorite Star Wars traits is the franchise's ability to make like tertiary characters what hook you the most. Not from like just a marketing standpoint, from like you genuinely want to see more of them and you invest in them, and then you come around to the kind of lead characters along the way, and you feel that so much in The Mandalorian with Nick Nolte's character, with IG-11. I think that Werner Herzog was like born to be a Star Wars villain. He's so good in that role, and like it brings you in all the ways that Star Wars always has.
Like I said on
it's
Twitter or
a lot.
something, like any series that has Carl Weathers and Werner Herzog, and I left Nick Nolte out and Nick Nolte, but definitely with Werner Herzog and Carl Weathers is a winner in my book, like already.
So, question from someone who hasn't seen it, because you said Pascal is great, and now is he helmeted throughout most of the show?
No,
all of the show.
The
Never
whole
takes off his
thing.
helmet.
Okay, so does this, as a weird kind of tangentially related, does this kind of make you feel a little better about like a Halo movie because you can see that someone can actually pull it off with someone not taking helmet off?
I mean, yeah.
I guess.
And it's also kind of like, but it's also like really worked in. Like they're beginning to kind of show you, if you haven't watched like Clone Wars and things like that, the animated series, like what Mandalore is all about and the actual culture of Mandalore. There's a whole kind of Mandalore cultural scene in the middle of it, where it shows you like there's a mission, there's a higher purpose to like what he's doing. Basically, after he gets these guys in the beginning, he freezes them all in carbonite and like turns in his bounty, the guy, because he tries to escape on the ship, and like he finds all the carbonite and he's like, "What's this?" And the Mandalorian surprises him and just throws him in and like carbonites him. So he's collecting ore for payment, and he's very specific about like what he'll accept versus what he won't. He won't accept anything. He hates things from the Empire, blah blah blah. But he takes this, I forget it. I don't want to, because Star Wars fans will come for me. It's like Blast Air Steel or something like that. I forget the exact name of it.
Beskar?
Beskar Steel, yeah. And so he gets that ore, and then he takes it back to kind of this other Mandalorian, this female Mandalorian who's a blacksmith, and we don't know who she is yet, and there's gonna be a whole thing about that.
And there was flashbacks from his childhood, and
like, what looks like droids and the Clone Wars.
Yeah, it was great.
And so he takes the bounties he's paid, the ore, and she melts it down, and she creates like a shoulder pad, and that's the next piece of his armor.
Oh, cool.
So he's kind of like slowly in there talking. There's this whole kind of Mandalorian cultural thing about it's great that this lost kind of metal, because that's what they are. They're these famed warriors from the Outer Rim. Their armor and weapons are second to none, made from these ore that is, unique to them. So he's kind of getting this stuff that the Empire came to Mandalore during, the rise of the Empire and conquered it and subjugated it. And so, and mined, weapons and used its ore. And so he's kind of reclaiming this and doing this whole kind of ritualistic thing, and then they make it back into their armor, and he's kind of like rebuilding. So it's a whole metaphor, like rebuilding Mandalorian culture, essentially. So
That's awesome.
yeah, and so you get, this all happens in the first episode, like in the midst of
It's a
this
lot of
whole
information,
thing.
but it doesn't feel like information overload, even for someone who doesn't have like a ton of knowledge of the Star Wars universe and all of that. Like, I just enjoy it, but I haven't, gone over and watched these movies and these animated series. Like, I don't really have a lot of knowledge in this, and I definitely enjoyed it. I hope it's not going to be another Watchmen situation where but I really dug it.
I think they're definitely
it.
making this right now in Star Wars as a jumping on point for people. We're getting out of the Skywalker saga, so after December, even all of that background will just be a different story. And all you gotta do is read wikis about like what is Mandalore, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't watch the animated series and never watched all the sagas about Mandalore and all that stuff. So I don't think it's gonna be the same as Watchmen.
Yeah.
No squids raining, hopefully.
Which, by the way, just to bring it full circle, like I still don't understand the squid thing, even after watching the movie, because they made it seem like the bomb was.
They
Manhattan.
did kind of change that up a little bit.
Yeah, they do
in the movies.
Dude, you have to. That's what I said.
It's more of a book situation.
There's a whole other side.
But lucky for me, I know the guys at Comic Book, and I got a text message from Kobe saying, "Yeah, it was actually supposed to be a giant squid that smashed New York City." So
psychic squid. Yeah, it's a whole other thing. But we'll talk about that in the coming weeks because I'm sure it's going to come up. But all right, any final thoughts, Mandalorian? I'm really psyched. After that ending, we have another episode coming out this week on Friday.
Yeah.
We probably won't get to see it, so it'll be. I think Janelle, you'll be back with us next week when we probably break that down and talk about it.
It's just be our Wednesday night.
yes.
So, all right. We'll talk about that then, but be sure to check that out. If you're going to Disney Plus, I don't think I have to tell you, but in case I do, check
I'm
it out.
more excited now about it. I was already excited before. I'm more excited now.
Of course you are. You
knowing
heard
all the
Let him
stories.
log
Baby
in.
Yoda, and you were already
Yes,
in.
I was in. The minute you
We know
said
how
Baby
you
Yoda.
work. All right, we got to get out of here soon, but Matt, as
Oh, yeah.
always, on
Yeah.
Wednesday, you got to take us and tell us what's hot at the comic shop this week and break it down for us.
There's speaking of debuts, there's a really cool debut for DC Comics. So they have an imprint that is called Young Animal. It's kind of a different.
rap name.
Difference, but that would fit. Wow, that's a good rap name. It is. So they kind of do their own spins. A lot of times it's original characters or characters like no one's screwed with for a minute, but then they'll put their own spin on it. Doom Patrol, Animal Man, some of those characters. So this week they're actually doing a Green Lantern spin. So it's like a new character. The Green Lanterns exist, but it's the first time that N.K. Jemisin has written a comic, and Jamal Campbell does the art. And this book is it's a mini series, so it's going to be self-contained. You don't have to go read a bunch of stuff. You just have to essentially know the premise of the Green Lanterns, which is space cops, and they do a really good job of breaking that in. Joe, who is the Green Lantern here, which. By the way, she looks like if Janelle Monáe were a Green Lantern. It's so that's what I kept thinking this entire time. I was like, oh my god, it's
we don't know
Monáe.
that Janelle Monáe isn't a Green.
Exactly, right? So this book is fantastic. First issue's out. You can give it a chance, but it's she's essentially called in to investigate, not even to investigate, to be this planet's cop who they haven't had a murder in 500 years because they removed all emotion from people. So they didn't typically have a lot of people having anger and hurt and all a bunch of stuff, but now they do. And so it's hilarious to see like this planet, which has all these modern technological advances, be completely inept for things like they actually ask her like, what do we do? Where do we put the body? Like they have a dead body and they don't know what to do because they haven't dealt with it for 500 years. They don't know what investigate
all
means.
been there at 4 a.m.
So they're like, what's procedure? And she's like, just like she's having to walk them through it, and it's hilarious. And she's so like funny and sarcastic. And you see her go like, there's this whole society that in one issue, it's kind of like the Mandalorian. They build a lot. There's a lot of world building, but it doesn't feel like you're getting exposition shoved at you. It's funny. The art is gorgeous. I definitely recommend if you're going to check out a book, check out that one because it's fantastic. So that's big from DC. Also, fellow Green Lantern fans, they're doing these Tales of the Multiverse, of the Dark Multiverse, which is like all that dark Batman stuff. And they're doing these kind of what if tales, essentially. And they do one with Blackest Night. So it's actually, the premise is kind of, instead of Sinestro sharing the white light towards the end of Blackest Night, he didn't. And he kept it all for himself because he thought he was the best one. And because of that, everything falls apart. Like all the heroes die. Like the place is like terrible. And he's the only, like there's only like 3 people left that are not these zombie fight thing. And it's Lobo, Dove, and him. Wow. And he's like half white, half Black Lantern because like it ate into him, but the white light keeps it at bay. They do some really cool stuff with the story, and it does a lot. It's like the recap for Blackest Night is literally maybe the first 2 pages, and the rest is just original them taking stuff, and it does not end where you think it's supposed to. So I definitely recommend that as well. The Flash number 82, because of all the Lex Luthor taking over the world stuff, which that's way complicated, but essentially it sets up the place of the Rogues being able to run the world. So like Captain Cold runs Central City.
This is Dark Reign DC.
Essentially, yeah. But it's the story. The premise is not original. The stuff in between and like what happens to the Flashes, what, the decisions that he makes to keep control of this place are. It's interesting. So I would definitely recommend that. Fallen Angels number 1, continuing our Dawn of X. This is actually the last, I think this is the last new series.
Yeah, from Dawn of X.
For Wave 1. And this one is X-23, Psylocke, and Cable. For Mr. Sinister fans, will find so much to love in this issue because I really enjoyed his parts. And if you're a fan of those, this is really a Psylocke book. The other characters have important parts to play, but this is really a Psylocke book. So if you're not interested in like her history and all this other stuff, you might not be interested in this, but it's really good. It's very different. X-Men number 2 is also out, so that's the second issue of
Wait, it is?
Jonathan. Mm-hmm. That's
Oh
also
man,
out this
I got
week.
a lot to read.
I am sad because this is the final issue of Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. Issue number 50. Squirrel Girl is amazing.
Squirrel
and
Girl.
50 issues strong. It's so fun and funny and irreverent.
Oh, Jadelle.
Last issue. This is the last issue. I have to say goodbye to this series. It makes me sad. However, it's been really fun. So I have to say goodbye.
Thank God that movie never happened.
What? No. Hellmouth number 2, the Buffy Angel crossover continues with its second issue. And then last but not least is Go-Go Power Rangers number 25.
Gotta get
Because
that
it's
plug
Morphin'
in there.
time. Damn right.
All right.
So that's it.
That'll do it for this episode of Comic Book Nation. Thank you guys for riding with us as we talked about all this Disney Plus madness. If you guys are just getting into the show now, we put up new episodes every Wednesday and Friday on Comicbook.com, where you can subscribe to our RSS feed, where you can regularly get updated with new episodes, or you can subscribe on your favorite listening platform. We're on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Google Playlists. You can tell any Amazon Alexa device to fire up Comic Book Nation podcast, or you can go on the YouTube and find us there under the Comicbook.com page. We have a whole section of our videos for these, for these video podcasts, broadcasts we do. If you want to continue the discussion with us, you can always find us at the hashtag Comic Book Nation, or you can talk to me at Kofi Outlaw.
You can find me at Matt Aguilar CB.
And you can find me at twitch.tv/Janelle Wheeler and at Janelle Wheeler on all social media.
So, I don't know about you, Charlie. I don't know if we have a lower in there for you,
okay.
but it'd be funny
Say
to
it.
cut to you and see
If you
what
want,
we
you
have.
can find
If
me.
you have Brandon Davis's name up there, put it up there. Let's get that lower third up
If you
there.
gotta yell at me, yell at him. It'll be fine.
Brian, we got loaded there. You got oh, that's fine. We missed it, but it's okay. This is Charlie Ridgely. Why don't you just give him verbally? You can tell
Oh,
him.
at Charlie Ridgely.
you
I make
go.
it pretty easy.
Yeah, we don't need any fancy effects for this. That'll do it for this episode of Comic Book Nation. As I said, thank you guys for riding with us. We'll be sure to see you on our next episode. Peace.
Deuces.